right, so this is a video to give you some strategies and tips on Opt 1 Day 11, the mastery assignment, and this is level 2. So to begin with, let's review some of the terminology that's used in this. There's also a video here I highly recommend that you watch. So we need to understand the difference between marginal tax rate and effective tax rate. So marginal tax rate, essentially what's happening with marginal tax rate, let's do an example. Let's say that you make, as a single person, we'll just do single, $92,000 in a year. Okay, so how is your tax rate determined? Well, first of all, your marginal tax rate is the highest bracket you're in. So if you look at the brackets, you're in this bracket. So that 24% is your marginal tax rate, but that's not what you're paying on all $92,000. Okay, you only pay 10% on the first $10,275. Now this is just a tax bracket I got for this year. The one in the assignment's probably a year or two older, so you're not going to use this one, but this is a good example. Okay, and we're not going to look at head of household and married and all that. So in this case, for the first $10,275, you are going to pay 10%. Okay, all right, so then you would calculate that. And that's $1,027.50. But what about the rest of your money? Okay, well, you're going to have to subtract that $10,275 from your $92,000. See how much we have left. So subtracting it from $92,000. Let's see, 92,000 minus 10,275 still leaves you with 81,725. Okay, so how much is in the next bracket? Well, how much money is in there? From $10,276 to $41,775, you're going to pay 12% on that. But how much money is that? Let's subtract that. So 41,775 minus 10,276. So that's $31,499 is going to be taxed at 12%. Okay. And so that's going to be $37.79.88. Okay. All right. So that's up. So right now we've taxed up to $41,775. The first $10,000 was 10%. The next $31,499 was 12%. But we got to keep going. So now we're in here. We know we're going to stop at this one because our total of $92,000 was in there. So next, how much money is in this bracket? So let's do a little subtraction. 89,075 minus 41,776. So there's $47,299. That's a 4 in that bracket. Let me write that here. You're going to tax that amount 22%. Write that down. Okay, so far we've taxed, if we add up all these numbers, you can see how much of your money you have taxed. So I'm just adding up all these numbers. So far I've taxed up to the 89,000. It's about this number, okay? Then we need to go above that because we had $92,000. So we're not going to we didn't reach the maximum in this one. So we're going to subtract $89,076 to see what's left of our money that's in that bracket. So we only have a little bit of money in that bracket, but that amount of money is going to be taxed at the highest rate. Okay, we add up all of this. So just putting it all together, that's how much money we have to pay in taxes. So just add. So altogether, the total is $15,914.92 in taxes. Now the effective tax rate, it's just a simple division problem. Okay, you take your taxes owed, you divide it by your income. That's too many zeros. And it gives us about 17.3% tax rate. This is the effective tax rate. Okay, so this one changes with every dollar you make, your effective tax rate changes. But the marginal tax rate, remember, that's just the highest one. Oops, I did not mean to get rid of the whole picture. Let me just erase some of this writing so we can read it. Your marginal tax rate is the highest one. So if you make $92,000, you're in this one. If you make $93,000, you're still in this one. So your marginal tax rate would still be 24. Your marginal tax rate is going to be 24% for all of these salaries or incomes. So what the effect that it has is that it, on a graph, it's going to look like it doesn't change until you make this amount of money, and now you're up to 32%. Okay, so this particular assignment, you have to fill out this table that shows how the marginal tax rate is basically calculated. So X here represents the income, basically, how much you make. So in my example, it was $92,000. Okay. So if X is somewhere between 0 and $10,275, you pay. You essentially pay 0.10% times that amount. Okay, assuming you don't make any more than that. And then your effective tax rate is you take your taxes and you divide it by your income. Remember that X is your income. Okay, and then so they do a couple of rows here. Let's just analyze them. Okay, so sorry, my program kind of was acting funny. So let's analyze them. So if you just make the first bracket, it's pretty easy. You just multiply how much you make total by that first bracket. If you look at the second bracket, you have to only multiply the first $10,075 so the first $10,275 gets multiplied by 10%. But then the next set, or the next chunk of money up to $41,775 is going to be 12%. So we need to figure out how much you have left that you're going to do 12%. Okay, this is where we subtracted from 10,275 to see how much money, okay, if you have left, that's going to be 12%. Okay, this part right here got calculated to be this number. So you can see that's where that number came from. This remains unknown because it depends on what your salary was. Was it 30,000 in that? Was it 40,000? What is it? Okay, then we continue on. So then if you make into the next bracket, then you're going to have to pay, you're going to have to do the 10,000. So this yellow part right here is here. That's the amount you're going to pay from the 10%. This blue part comes from the 12% bracket. So basically, how do they figure that out? Okay, they did 41,775, which was the max, minus the minimum. Okay, which turns, and then multiply that by 12%. That's right here. But we add to that, I'll use a different color, this bracket. So 22%, our numbers, basically if we're looking here, our number, our salary is somewhere between these two numbers. But we need to see how much more than 41,775 it is. So we have to subtract it from X and multiply it by 22%. Okay, this yellow number and this blue number actually are going to combine to give you this number. Okay, so that's from the previous two brackets basically. Okay, and then this is what's left over from that's in this bracket. Okay, so I'll do one more and you'll have to do the rest. So now we're in the 24%. We're going to do 24% times whatever in our salary is greater than that 89,000. So we're going to do X minus 89,075. We want to see how much higher than that are we in there. How much money is in this section, this bracket. And then to that, we're basically going to add this 10,000 or 1,027 and 50 from the first bracket, plus this thing from the second bracket, which I suppose we could just figure out we can calculate what that is. Plus, we need to now do the previous bracket, what's the 22. So assume, so then we know that we filled up all three of these brackets. So we're going to do, I'm going to need some room there. So 22% times, we're going to do the whole bracket. So we're going to do 89,075 minus 41,775. Okay. So we're gonna have to figure out, actually, an easier way to do this here. I already know what this plus this is. It's this number right here. They calculated it for me. Okay, so I'm just gonna write that number. So I'm gonna write 4807.50, but I still need to calculate the 22% bracket. Okay, so this is the 10% and the 12% bracket. This is the 22%. I need to add that to it. Okay, and so I'll do a little calculations. Let's figure out what this part is. So I'm going to subtract 89,075 minus 41,775. And I'm going to multiply that by 22%. Okay, that is 10,406. And I'm going to add that to the 4807. Oops, I totally messed up. Okay, 4807.50 plus 10,406. Wait, I didn't multiply it times 20%. Okay, there's a lot of calculations here. Let me do that again. 89,075 minus 41,775 times 0.22. Okay, I had it right. I don't know why I doubted myself. Plus 4807.5 Okay, so that's going to give me this first part with the x plus $15,213.50 divided by x. Okay, you just have to repeat this process all the way down to the bottom. Okay, then they ask you some questions. Okay, you have to decide which one is the marginal tax rate versus the effective tax rate. So remember, the marginal tax rate, it's the highest bracket you're in. Okay, and it lasts for that entire bracket. Okay, then they give you a person's income and they say, what is his marginal tax rate? So you got to find 150,000 in this. You got to look here. Where does it land? Which tax bracket? Use the formula to work it out that you wrote. Okay, and then you can figure out his effective tax rate, where the equation's right on here. It's the taxes paid divided by the income, the taxable income. Okay, then there's just a couple more questions, which I can't really answer for you, but hopefully the definitions and such will help you. All right, that's it for that one.